This is a production of WTVI PBS Charlotte.
The following episode of Charlotte, a City of International Success, is brought to you by Central Piedmont Community College and viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Maha Gingrich. Coming up next on Charlotte, a City of International Success, I will interview Concha Becker, and we're going to talk about the importance of women leaders mentoring other women. Stay with us. Welcome to Charlotte, a City of International Success. I'm Dr. Maha Gingrich. Today our guest is Mrs. Concha Becker, and she is the president and co-owner of Rotary Dye Specialties. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Maha, for inviting me.
Well, you know, Concha, I have known you and I have known Klaus Becker, your husband, for quite some time. And I was really looking forward to speaking with you because you are such an accomplished woman. And I know that didn't come easy for you. So to begin with, you're from Mexico?
Yes, I am born in Mexico City.
Oh, okay. So did you go to school there and everything? Or?
Yes, I grew up. When I was in my late teens, I moved to do an internship in Charlotte, actually in Gastonia. Most people, if you say Gastonia, they don't quite put it together. But yes, I moved to Gastonia, North Carolina. That was my first contact in 1968 with the USA.
Okay.
And
so before you come all the way to Gastonia, tell me about growing up in Mexico City. What was it like
growing up
with your family, with your grandparents, your parents? What was it like growing up there?
It was actually, sometimes my sister says often we should write a book because I had a dreamlike childhood.
Oh.
I come from a family of immigrants themselves into Mexico.
Who was your immigrant family?
European immigrants, actually. My great-grandfather was from Italy. My great-grandmother was from France.
Oh, wow.
As you know, France had a strong presence in Mexico for a time. And they were really very also individuals that took the same route, perhaps, that my husband and myself took. Be the first ones to be in another country from our own country. So because of that, I come from a very, very small family.
Oh,
my great-grandparents being immigrants, my grandfather being an only child on my mother's side.
Oh, wow.
My mother being an only child from that son of these immigrants from Europe. And from my father's side also. His parents came from Spain into Mexico, also looking for that promised land with whatever they didn't have in Europe. And therefore, whenever I think about my family is so small, but yet so rich.
Yeah, exactly.
So rich in history, so rich in background, and somehow inside of me that immigrant feeling was also growing all the time. I was born in Mexico, but I always thought one day I will be someplace else. I will travel wherever.
Yeah.
Before I came to the United States, I had an ambition to go to Australia, which I think it was very hard and I am very happy that I didn't in a way. I decided into coming to North Carolina.
Yeah. So growing up in, Mexico City, did both your parents were guiding you, or how does it work? Now, you said something that your father passed away early?
Yes, very, very young. My father died before I was 4. I hardly remember my father. Probably my memories are more of what my mother told me than what I really recall. But therefore, I don't want to sound strange. I don't have really that memory of having a father or having a male figure in my life. My grandfather was not very much present in our life. But I was lucky to be brought up by extremely strong women women that were very, very entrepreneurial. They were successful. They were inventive, so resourceful that I had nothing else but a good example to follow for the future.
How big is your family? Do you have siblings?
I had a brother that unfortunately passed away already, and a sister who is older than I am. As today, she still owns her own company. She's in real estate. She has always worked, as I have always done. But we were taught from very young age that work was a privilege. Work was a joy. The possibility of developing something, creating something, was always a challenge that was rewarded at the end.
Yeah.
And that was from the very beginning. My aunt was a person that had a small business that provided for my brother, sister, and I. And my mother, without any effort, really. It was just unbelievable when I see sometimes families struggling and having difficulties in developing a good income and a good working life that worked two jobs, 3 jobs. And I think, and these 2 women gave to these 3 children education, security, and an example that for me has been, as of today, what has guided my life. Every day I am so happy that I have a job, that I can do something, and through my life that I have been able to provide job to others through my work.
Yeah.
And especially to women. One of the reasons that I really accepted to take your interview was because my message is more based to women, helping other women.
Yeah.
We are today the awakening gender that has for so long worked in the background.
Yeah.
We have to remember always that the first mentor a child has, whether it is a male or a female, is a mother.
You had your mother, obviously, and if grandfather was not around home much, obviously then mother was taking care as well, your grandma, and then your mother, and then your aunt. And so now, when you did your schooling in Mexico City, so did you do any job there?
I did. Also, even in schooling, I had very, very good teachers that helped me carve the way for my own desire. I always wanted to be in international business. English was a very interesting part of my education. I wanted that very much, and I seek every opportunity possible I want to practice my English. I want to be in contact with people that speak English. I don't know why or how. In the school we were offered French or English, and I say unquestionably it's English for me.
Yeah.
So my mother found a place where I could work and speak English with a friend of hers that owned a very wonderful jewelry store.
Jewelry store, okay.
Very, very expensive, fancy, elegant, everything that I always liked. And of course, offer me the possibility to speak on a daily basis with people that travel from other countries.
And interact with them and speak English.
And speak English. That was for me my dream. And at first, she didn't think I could offer many things that she was looking for, especially as an intern and just a summer job. But I told her, let me work. You don't have to pay me. Just give me the opportunity to practice what I want to learn, what will open my door for the future. And she said, okay, you are not very intelligent. You are prepared to work for
without any money.
Without any money as a reward. You must really be driven. That's what I want. Yeah. And she did allow me that. She gave me a terrible time. She was a very difficult boss, a very successful woman, a very, very strong, intelligent. That woman spoke 5 languages, all self-taught. She came from Poland. She was also an immigrant, and she carved my career path. She didn't take any kind of, oh, well, silly girl dreams. She just said, no, you have to focus on what you have to learn. You have these books to read. You have these galleries to see. You have to go to this museum. Your time should be used in a way that you learn something.
Oh, wow.
But in the meantime, you have to work for me, and you have to be very responsible and very serious and focused. And I just thought I would never be able to do it. So I was hoping very much at the end of the internship that she would say, goodbye. I never want to see you again. But indeed, she said, no, you are going to continue to work for me on the weekends.
Oh, wow. Now you were going to
back
college,
to school,
right?
and back to school, and my internship I thought is finished, but she said, no, I want you to come back on Saturdays. I want you to work. I want you to continue, and I will continue to monitor your time. And she said, and by the way, I will pay you for that time that you work.
Oh.
Oh, I thought, great, all the things I can buy. And she said, and you and I will go to a bank and open an account in which you will put the money.
Oh, wow.
And let's see how we can manage that you don't take it out so easily. So it was not really my money. She controlled it. She helped me. But that woman taught me.
So she taught you to not only succeed, but also to manage your finances, because that is a huge challenge for many of us, because we think we have the responsibilities, or in your case, I can buy this, I can buy that, because you were young. You know, you wanted to buy things for yourself. So she guided you on how to manage your financials.
She did. She did, and
that's amazing.
She put me in charge of so much responsibility within her shop for the age that I had. But that was really picking up from the part that my aunt had given me before. My aunt owned these apartment buildings in Mexico City when I was young. And at a very early age, she made me, I was 7 or 8, and she made me create the receipts for the rent and deliver them to the people.
Oh, okay.
And my mother would not do it. My brother would not do it. My sister would not even think about it. But I would do it. I thought there was nothing wrong. They live there. They have to pay.
Yeah.
And I would deliver the... So I was probably not a welcome guest at their house whenever
With your
but I had the receipt. And I did it. And I think Frida, that was my first boss, she saw that on me, and she said, you have to pick it up from there. Business is business.
Yeah.
You have to be responsible. You have to take it seriously. You have to be focused. A sale is not a sale until you have the money in the bank. Oh. So then you know that with that money, it's not your money. You have so many things that you have to do. And if you think today the principles of accounting, that's it. The money that you create an invoice is not necessarily your money. You have to buy new things to sell.
Right.
So she taught me that. She continued. We developed a very strong relationship, a friendship that was from somebody saying, you have nothing to offer, and I am going to open my door. And I say, don't pay me, just give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
To a relationship of 2 good friends, a very intelligent, very educated, well-traveled woman with a young woman that wanted to learn anything and everything that she could teach.
Yeah, you're very fortunate in some ways, but at the same time, you also were open because you wanted to learn.
Yes.
You wanted to succeed. You wanted to explore. So you had that inner passion to really go out there and do something for yourself. And I think those are the 2 main elements. People may have passion, they might not have mentors. And then people may have mentors, but they might not have that inner passion and the drive to succeed. So you got all these wonderful women mentors. Why did you come to the U.S.?
Well, I think that was
it part of the job?
Was part of the job, was of Frida's influence on me, on saying, she traveled often to the United States.
Okay.
She was a great friend of the arts. So Washington and New York and Los Angeles was a place that she discover herself. She came from a very, very humble family in Poland during the war. And for what she told me and what I learned, she had arrived in Mexico with nothing. And nevertheless, she built herself this wonderful, wonderful business through a lot of savings, a lot of savvy. She taught herself the other languages. She spoke French, English, Spanish, German, and Yiddish, of course. But she was always learning. She was always fighting. She was always getting a way to succeed farther and farther and educate herself. So whenever I saw her, I thought, wow, how can she do it? How I want to know. And she told me one thing: in the United States is where the American dream is possible. For me, it was possible here.
Yeah.
I was probably lucky, but you have even more. You should go. Try it. And she put that seed on me that she liked it so much that the first opportunity I had to come here, I thought, I have to go. I have to see it. I have to see that frontier that she's telling me about. Yeah. And so I came, and it was due to some friends that we had in Gastonia, my family had. And it turned out to be an experience for me incredible. It was 1968, it was the winter, it was November, the week before Thanksgiving. It was like a fairy tale. There was snow. I had never seen snow except in the volcanoes of Mexico.
Experience.
And this was snowing actually coming from the sky. And I thought, this is heaven. The neighborhood where I lived, there were young people my age. They incorporated me immediately. They had never seen a Mexican person, and they loved me. I was almost like a movie star. I was in the newspaper. I helped the Spanish teacher. I was his assistant. They welcomed me in such a way that I just thought, oh my God, this is dreamland.
It is.
And I just took that idea when the semester finished and I went back to Mexico. The silly thing, I took a little bottle of shampoo that was left over from that time. And every time when I was at home and I took a shower and I would smell that shampoo, I thought, you have to go back. You have to go back. Nobody could understand it.
Yeah.
When I came to Gastonia, people would ask me, Concha, do they have cars in Mexico?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, sure. We just had the Olympic Games. We had we had so many people. There were 8 million people in Mexico City. Yeah. And there were probably 70,000 people in Gastonia.
Yeah, because people have not seen it.
No,
so
they hadn't seen it, and I tried to explain that to them. But then it was the reverse. I was in Mexico City, and I missed that little town so much. And I told my mother, I have to go back. I have to go back. There is something for me there.
Yeah.
So I did everything possible. I came back, and so looked for how to work, what to do, It was at that time very easy to get a green card. I got a green card. I started to explore, and I landed into the textile industry.
Textile industry.
Of
course, Gastonia.
Gastonia was big, and Charlotte was big, and that was the industry that was booming, and that was delivering people from all over the world, from the UK, from France, from Germans. The Germans were very, very strong presence here, and working, I learned, I became exposed. The textile machinery started to suffer. But through the connections that I had developed, I got a very good opportunity to travel to Bolivia, to La Paz.
Oh, wow.
The machinery that was being sold here for a very low price because the companies were closing was moving down to Latin America as used equipment. But that equipment needed to be set, maintenance, everything possible that you needed for that equipment.
Sure.
Those people didn't know where to get it. They had the money, they had the market, they needed the machinery. And I knew how to put the contacts together.
Ah,
So that made me an individual that traveled together with a group of young people as myself that had the same circumstances, machinery, industry closing, experience, contacts, and we moved and we started we helped this company. They had tremendous amount of money and they invested in machinery and we helped them set up the machine, buying the yarn, getting the supplies, servicing the machine, installing everything from different markets, from Germany, from France, from Italy, from Brazil. We got yarn, we got dye stuffs, we got the whole thing. We had a wonderful time. What an experience to have an open book,
yeah.
to write the history of a company with the machinery, with everything.
So let me ask you a question then. In that field, were there many women? Because in what you were doing,
No, I was the only one.
you were the only woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was that experience for you? You know, being the only woman, primarily in man's field, right?
Very much.
Right? Okay.
Very much.
So how was that, trying to do?
At the beginning, there was always that question, why? What are you doing here? I would tell you, I had, because of the company,
Yeah.
the way that this was a family that had a lot of money and they had the ambition to set up this, they could sell the product. I had an apartment, a very nice apartment in La Paz, and in the evenings, I had not much to do. La Paz was even more conservative than Mexico. And I signed myself in the Alliance Française to take French in the evenings. I mean, I had
Because
no
you had
boyfriend,
time,
I had to do something. And I made friendship with a young woman my age, and we talked, and whenever she invited me, she said, oh, let's go for coffee. We had coffee, and then I invited her over to visit my apartment. And she didn't come, and she told me, my parents said no, because you are a single woman, and you live here, and you will move away one day, and people will think I was friends with and I said, how strange, how strange. It had never occurred to me.
Yeah.
But also within the men, it was always, why Concha? And I learned one thing very quickly. I can work with men,
Yeah.
but you don't mix your personal life with their personal
With
life.
their personal life.
And you don't compete in the fields that you should not compete. You should never drink as much as men drink, and you should not try to challenge them in things that you should not challenge them. You have to be professional. You have to be ethic. You have to respect yourself in every way and perform. You don't expect to compete with the men in a field in which you have to make excuses not to do something because of your gender.
Okay, that's important.
Don't go that way. You cannot say, well, I want to get your job. I want to be the manager of that department. I want to be that executive that does that job. But I have to have special consideration because I am female.
Now you are the president and the co-owner of your company. So what does your company do in a very short, maybe few sentences?
Our company, what it does is we are really a section, we represent a section of a very huge machine, which is a printing press for the packaging industry. If you go to a grocery store, 70% of the products that you buy packaged, cereal, Kellogg's cereal, frozen foods, the boxes are manufactured by our customers in our machinery.
Oh, okay.
And I managed that company for 16 years, the one that opened the ground for Komori Chambon to enter the US market. At the end of 16 years, the corporate group in Japan had a little bit of a different idea of how they wanted to continue.
Sure.
They want to manufacture more in Japan because they needed more revenue.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, the French part of the manufacturing facility thought that my group had the technological know-how to better represent one of the very strong aspects of the whole operation of the press, which is the rotary die cutting. And between Japan and France, did the fortunate decision to allow me to keep that portion of the company with my partner.
Yeah.
And continue to work together with the Komori group and with the Chambon group and deliver the same type of performance that we have for 16 years.
Well, Concha, I think all this, to me, it all comes down to, people all through your life, all the women who have mentored you, and how you have learned about life, just through their guidance, but also I think the energy and the inner passion that you have to succeed as a business lady, as a businesswoman in a field where it's not many women exist. And so really knowing you for this many years and knowing what you do, and then in your field, it is absolutely amazing. You're an inspiration to many women who really would like to be like you, that is, own their own business or at least manage a business, on their own. So thank you for, being on our show, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you, Maha.
And thank you for watching Charlotte, a City of International Success. I'm Dr. Maha Gingrich. Please join us again next time, right here on WTVI PBS Charlotte.
A production of WTVI PBS Charlotte.